Because we're recording this, and I know a lot of people are going to be watching this recording, I'm going to jump in. So thank you so much, everyone, for joining us today, whether you're here live or catching the replay later. And we're really happy you're here. So this is our first expert session, which we're so excited about. And the whole purpose behind, building our community is for our patients to actually feel change and not just gather the information, but start seeing real transformation in their day-to-day life. And so in the community that we built out, just for people who have joined, you will see expert sessions. And so that's obviously like the one you're going to see today, where you learn from incredible people and have access to every recording. You'll have live Q&A calls with Sarah and myself, where you can send in your questions and get real-time support. And then we're also going to have resources, tools, and a growing library of content. And then lastly, you have peer support as well for others who get what you're actually going through or are in similar situations. And so we really encourage you to participate in these calls and engage in the community, because the more you engage, the more you'll get out of it. So with that, I'm excited to welcome today's expert, Amanda, who is our very own certified nutritional therapy practitioner. And she's going to share today how your body's needs shift as seasons change and what you can do to stay balanced and energized. And as a past or current patient, you can work with Amanda one-on-one, which she'll talk about at the end too. And Amanda works alongside patients to build sustainable routines, make empowered decisions, and cultivate longevity while inspiring confidence and ownership into your personalized plan. So on that note, I'm going to pass the mic to Amanda for today's workshop.
Awesome. Thanks, Natalie, so much. Let's pull this up. Okay, can you see my presentation?
Yeah.
Lovely. Oh, the joys. So you may see me looking off in outer space. I have multiple screens up, but excited to kick off today. Natalie just teed me up so well to jump right into it. So we're going to talk about the seasonal shift, and something that she shared that I really value is that I may share a variety of things. And the point of that is that it just depends where you are in your journey. There's 1.0, there's 2.0, and wherever you are at is okay. Just sharing that maybe you take one of these things, or maybe you're like, great, I already do that. I can't wait to add something else. So again, I try to add a little bit of variety in today so that you can find something that will fit your need best. So why seasonal shifts matter. So we really are going to talk about something that is really simple, but incredibly impactful. How the body shifts when we move from summer into fall and what it needs during that transition. We talk a lot about food and habits, but rarely do we talk about how those needs change seasonally. And that leaves a lot of us feeling drained of energy, not sure why we don't feel great in the colder months, besides just the obvious that it gets dark at 5 p.m. now. It's lovely. But your metabolism, your hormones, your hunger cues, and your nervous system, they all respond directly to changes in temperature and daylight. And there's nothing wrong with you if you feel different in the fall. It's your body adapting and changing for that energy shift and that energy need that our bodies need to adapt through the season. And so our goal is to support that instead of pushing against it. So we're going to talk about these three things, about what really changes in the fall. What does that even mean? So we have our light exposure shifts. Like I shared, our days are getting shorter and your brain gets less daylight. That impacts your internal clock, our circadian rhythm. I'm sure you've heard a lot of people talking about that. So our melatonin rises earlier. And so you may feel tired earlier, and you may be feeling this, especially with, like I shared, the time change. I don't believe that we saved time, but maybe we'll try again next year. So your cortisol also raises later, so your mornings may feel a little bit slower. It's normal. Fall is not meant to be that high action season like summer is, and your body's shifting towards that slower energy. So instead of fighting that, let's talk about ways to create space for rest and really authentically what that can mean for your lifestyle. So there's also just ways of creating consistent daily habits. One of my favorite things about summer is spontaneity. You get the last minute plans. You love going out late to grab that, 4 p.m. coffee or just the fun plans that you all make when the weather is still warm. Really thinking about shifting that in the winter and in the fall and how we can really slow down. I know the holidays also are a little tricky with that, but just something to keep in mind. So as the temperature drops, your metabolism adjusts. So when the weather gets cooler, your body has to maintain that internal warmth. That means metabolism increases slightly to create heat. And so because of that, you may notice you're hungrier, your hunger increases, your body prefers like the warm cooked meals. Cold salads and raw foods may feel less satisfying. So a lot of people share that they feel more snackier in the winter. And there's a part of that of are you nourishing in a way that's giving your body that comfort, or just leaving you feeling like you still are hungry even though you just ate. So we're going to talk about that. So if you've noticed that you're hungrier or you're craving comfort food, again, nothing's wrong. Your metabolism is doing exactly what it is designed to do. So here are just like some common signs of people feeling that shift if you're living a little bit in misalignment in the fall and winter. You start to feel those 3 p.m. crashes if you don't reach for another cup of coffee at that 3 p.m. time. You could be experiencing more bloating or discomfort in your digestion, having more cravings or again feeling hungrier, cold hands and feet, and increased feelings of irritability. So, nourishing your body this fall is really shifting some of the choices that you make. Grocery hauls, we'll talk about that a little bit. And really, I love the word nourish for fall. That's always kind of like my core value word that I shift to as I'm making my meal prep menus for the week or as I'm in the grocery store. I really start to think about that word like warm, grounding. So, those are some things to keep in mind. Warm cooked meals really will support that digestion and that change and leave you feeling more satiated and full versus again that feeling like you constantly want to reach for another snack after you finished your morning smoothie. If you are a smoothie gal, Natalie and I talked about this. It may be time to put your smoothie blender away for hibernation, bust out that crock pot in the Dutch oven for the fall. Okay, so again, warm cooked meals is one of the biggest ways to support your body in the fall. We're also going to talk about mineral rich foods. Your body needs more minerals and those micronutrients as we're expending a little bit more energy to keep our bodies warm. We also would talk about steady carbohydrates, so those fiber-rich foods that also promote gut health. And then we'll talk about some of those daily routines and habits. So getting sun in the morning on your face directly. Maybe you have a lunchtime walk. Maybe you're listening to this on a lunchtime walk. And that adequate rest that really helps regulate your metabolism and your recovery through this season. So some of the essential nutrients in the fall that our body is using a little bit more of is zinc, magnesium, and vitamin C. We all know it turns into a little sick season. We get more colds and just a little bit more susceptible. There are great ways to naturally increase these in your meals. Again, zinc is a great precursor for testosterone, magnesium, great for our body functions and for more restful sleep. And like I shared, vitamin C is great for your immune system. So adding while you're cooking your breakfast or while you're making your coffee, something great for the fall season is to heat up some warm water. You can add some lemon into it. You can add a pinch of real mineral sea salt in there. That really helps with digestion. It also helps support detox pathways as well. Also, you have bone broth If you are not experiencing histamine sensitivity, bone broth is a great, warm, comforting gut support. And it also has got a little bit of protein in there, which also is a nice little kick. We have pumpkin seeds. Those are great for zinc and magnesium. One underrated thing that I will say, I am not an oyster gal, but oysters are a nutrient powerhouse. I will say oysters and sardines are so nutrient dense. So if you like those things, what a great snack or a thing to throw in a canned smoked oysters for a lunch or a snack. Those are really, really nutrient dense. We also have our leafy greens are great for magnesium. Artichoke, avocado, kiwi, great winter staples for magnesium. Grapes for vitamin C. I'll share recipes with some of these things in them. And then also a high quality, I know Natalie posted the other day, a really high quality electrolyte. Electrolytes are great to support you through this season to just get a little extra oomph in your day. And again, minerals help regulate hormones, they help our stress response, and they really support that immune function. Okay, so let's talk about our grocery haul and swaps. I pulled out some things that are a great shift for fall and winter that are in season foods. Again, great to look at your farmer's market because they usually always will have your in season produce and your local meats from farmers, which is a great way to support, but also know that you're getting high quality produce. So these are some fun things that I love for swaps. My husband always is like a strawberry and blueberry all year round. So we've been really working on including some swaps for fall. And I saw him eating a pomegranate yesterday. So we were there. Okay, small habits over time. So again, think about one or two swaps versus saying like, I need to whole haul my whole entire grocery list or my go-to meal preps. That's not the point. The point is taking this list and thinking about trying some new things, cooking with some new recipes, and thinking about, again, that stuff that's in season that can support your digestion and that overall nourishment. And like I said, like without overhauling too, and putting away our smoothies and our raw salads. It's not a never, again, it's not an all or a nothing or a never thing. Like every now and then I will still need a grilled chicken crisp Caesar salad with fries. It is what it is. Every now and then we need a little something. And so again, always room for your fun things, but just kind of thinking about over time how you can have mostly cook warm, comforting meals for the season and for digestion and energy. Okay, so now the fun stuff. I have some recipes that are my go-tos that I share with clients and also just that I've played around with in the fall and winter. For breakfast, I love doing warm bowls in the morning. I kind of swap out my smoothie. I do like half a scoop of my grass-fed protein powder in my coffee. It tastes like a cinnamon roll. I can't explain it, but I love it. So I'll do half a scoop in my hot coffee, and then I do a warm breakfast bowl. Breakfast hashes are great. Um, Doing like either sweet potato or butternut squash, sauteing some greens in there, add some extra protein. You can do, tofu, you can do turkey, you can do any kind of like protein that you want. I love doing those in a bowl again because I can do everything in one pan at one time and it takes me about 10 minutes. The other hidden gem that is a breakfast is cinnamon apple quinoa. So you can do quinoa instead of oats, or if you like oats, you also can do those. I kind of like either doing like a half and half blend, um, but kind of a fun way to have a little protein punch in the morning and also just something different than traditional oatmeal. So I love that. Stewed apples are really good for gut health. Sprinkle some cinnamon on there and do them in a sauteed pan with butter, and they're great. And then for lunches, I like also doing, kind of like warm bowls. You can have rice as a base or roasted veggies. Love sprinkling pomegranate on top. And then you can do, goat cheese or any dairy-free kind of like sauce or topper that you like. And these are great because you kind of can do like a one pan sheet meal. So you're not cooking multiple things at once. You can kind of put everything on a pan and roast it in the oven or air fryer. And then this one is kind of fun, tuna, chicken, or I will make a case for sardines. If you are weird about sardines, but you're like, I could eat them, I'd love to try and add them in. Like mashing them up like tuna and making them like a tuna salad is a great little lunch. So I've done it with shredded chicken, I've done it with tuna, I've done it with sardines, but then you do red grapes, celery, mayo, or a dairy alternative that you like. I like doing it with mixed greens on toast, and that is like a fun, quick lunch. And then, of course, dinner, like I said, you could do sheet pans, or I'm a big fan of a roast. I think roasts are so easy for the fall and winter. Get a chuck roast, put it in your crock pot with some bone broth. And then again, for like budget friendly, I love to do kitchen sink. So whatever I have in my fridge for veggies, I will just throw those in there. I love to do like peas, carrots, potatoes. I've seen people do roast with peppers. And again, that's kind of nice because you can set it and leave it and have it for a couple of days. The thing I will say about roast is, again, if you're experiencing a histamine sensitivity, um, that may not be the best option, but just sharing it out there. Love doing chicken tortilla soup as well, and casseroles for dinners when thinking about fall. Okay, next week I am going to post the grocery list and some of these recipes in detail in the community. So keep your eyes out because you all will have access to that. And that is it. Like I shared before, it does not have to be an all or nothing. Just start with one thing into your routine and then build over time. I'm really big on breaking big habits down. We have a lot of access to information, but really the breakdown is how do I make it sustainable for me? And what does that look like when I'm thinking about long-term sustainability and habit stacking? I am really looking forward to working one-on-one with people. This QR code, you can scan it directly to book a discovery call with me. It's a 15-minute call where really we can talk about what our work can look like together and see if we are a good fit for where you are and where you want to go.